Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. We're still on the Liverpool to Manchester route here. We are looking at the off to Warrington scenario today, the second service we're going to look at. Now, again, the order of the scenarios in the manual and in the game is basically alphabetical. So basically they are set up in an alphabetical fashion. Naturally, we're going to be doing them in whatever order we choose because they're not numbered. I did not mean to do that, but you know what? I just did that. I sorted them by difficulty, guys. I did not know that worked. I was just curious if it worked, and it worked. Okay, good to know. I learned something today, guys. But we're going to sort again by scenario name because that's the way they're sorted in the manual. We're going to do them by difficulty, and that means we are going to be doing off to Warrington as our second scenario. So I learned something. The menu lets you sort by difficulty. I now know this. Also lets you sort by completion status, duration, and I guess by the name of the train as well if you're on the main menu there. But yeah, and I've learned something about functionality today, which is really neat to know. I'm going to use that in the future. But for today, we're just doing the off to Warrington scenario. I'm a little upset because I had my Manchester area up on the open railway map, and I'm going to have to do that at a later time. But that means for now, off to Warrington, we're going to be doing I guess it's about a half-hour service, all stops between Liverpool and Warrington. Let's go check out Liverpool once again, shall we? Let's get started. Starting at Liverpool, this is a morning rush hour service calling at all stations to Warrington. Simple enough. Here's our chariot. As you see, I zoomed in because we still have the broken camera. That's going to look, a broken window. That's going to happen every scenario, so I'm just going to zoom in quietly every time. Allow passengers to board here at Liverpool Lime Street before continuing. Well, that makes sense. So we have to do that every time we start a service, I guess. Okay, we will board passengers here. And we're going to bring up the information on the HUD to show that we are going to get ourselves set up. We're going to go ahead and reset the AWS self-test, just like that. And we're done. Let's get going. I guess we're ready to go. If I can get my brakes to go off, there we go. I don't know what I just set on my other button, but it's working, so we're good. So this is starting out the same as the other one. Let's just check what platform we're on again. No, are we still on platform 5? What platform are we starting on? We are starting, yep, on platform 5. That seems to be a normal thing on this station for us so far. 2 trips to platform 5 to start scenarios. Don't speed. Thank you. So what are we doing today? This is probably going to be very similar to a service I've seen on the timetables, actually. We do have a service at stop at Edge Hill. Going to go to Mossley Hill. West Allerton is very, very close. You can see it's within a mile of that. Liverpool South, Hunts Cross, Halewood, Ho Green, Widnes, Sankey for Penketh, and Warrington Central. Probably 100 points for each stop, 18-mile journey. Let's go ahead and enjoy this. I see what looks like a train up ahead. Is that a train? No, it looks like just daylight at the end of a tunnel, I guess. I don't know. We are limited right now to 15 miles per hour. We are going to go ahead and be ready for our stop at Edge Hill in about 1 mile from now. We're going to get up to as high as 30 miles per hour. Looks like we're taking a junction to make sure we stay on a platform path. Previously on the other run, it was 40 going through this area. So we're taking a different track where we're limited to 30 at this time. Good to know. You can see the 30 sign as we went by in the headlights there, which seem to be automatically set. I can't seem to reset them once I accidentally unset them, so I'm going to just not fiddle with them right now. 30 is now our limit. It seems I have to go to 100% in order to get to that 30, unfortunately. So there is Edge Hill up there. We have to stop by 9 o'clock. We should be able to do that. And I lost enough power to lose speed. Good to know. So a series of tunnels leaving Liverpool-Lime Street. This is a very, very well-known entry into the Liverpool station at the end of the route. Here, go ahead and zero down the throttle there. And it is indeed the terminus of all trains. You can't go past Liverpool-Lime Street. You're going to see water behind it. There is kind of like a metro area that you can take a separate track to access that will go to the other side of that, and there's a link to that line from Chester as well. Eventually links to that line through another route that goes to, I forget what it's called. I'd have to look at the map a little closer to confirm it. But I know there's also a route to West Kirby up there, which also goes to a place called New Brighton, interestingly enough. Because, you know, the other Brighton wasn't good enough, I guess. Not bright enough? I don't know. So we're coming up to Edge Hill here. So this is, of course, going to be our first stop. We will stop in front of the building. I don't know where the two-car stop is. But we're going to stop in front of the building on the HUD is what I'm going with on this. Which means I need to stop now. In any case, we are arriving right on time. So the doors are open at Edge Hill, platform number 3. Leaving Edge Hill, our next stop is Mossley Hill. That train you saw coming in was number 158782, running a local service. It approached us from Mossley Hill. It's going to continue, I believe, to Liverpool. Or Gorp or something, I don't know. We're up to 29 miles per hour. 30 is our speed limit, so that should be fine for the time being. We are going to arrive early according to the itinerary. We have till 9:06, and you can see the stops are very short for the next couple because they are very close. But 9:06, we're estimated to arrive at 9:04 and change right now. So, yeah, we're doing okay for right now as far as timings go until we get into the 80. We're going to probably lose some time trying to get up to speed there, but our stop is in 2 miles anyway, so we're not going to be going too fast anyway. We'll see how this turns out. The next service I'm expecting to see will probably be the 158702 Express service. It'll be approaching from Liverpool South Parkway, so will be 158731, which is set to move a lot later than the other one. It's going to make a stop a lot later. So we're expecting both of those services making stops at Liverpool South Parkway, and we're going to eventually come across them. One of them is an express, but expresses do stop there. You saw it last scenario. Maybe not all of them, but at least ours did. Going to reapply a little speed here because I've now lost some speed on what appears to be a 1 in 98 uphill. Okay, we got enough speed now to continue for the time being. We are going to enter a little bit of a downhill gradient as we're able to increase to 80 miles per hour. There's the 80. We're now going to be under that in just a second. So we can now gain some speed and make our stop. Eventually make our stop. I believe I see a train coming here. Let's just verify this. Yep, that's the 158702 Express that I mentioned. I said that would be next, and sure enough, it's next. So 158731 should be following behind, making a stop at platform 4 in about 5 minutes. I've gone ahead and cut off throttle for now. I think we are early enough that I can manage that. So we're going to work with that. Plus we have a 70 up ahead. Not that it matters anyway, because we're only going just over 50 right now. Maybe approaching 53 right now. And we are gaining speed because we're on a 1 in 113 gradient. So we're going to need to slow down a little earlier here, it looks like. Brakes are doing okay on this downhill gradient. The first step brake is doing exactly what I expected it to. I don't think I'm going to be down at 30 by the platform entry, but this is such a small platform, I'm probably going to want to be down to about 25 or 20 anyway. So we're going to see if we can get our speed down to that for platform entry. So a slight drop to step 2 for a moment. Take it back off. We're now up to about 31, 30. Takes the brake off for a second because I think we're coming a little slowly now. Now we're going to reapply it. And let's do the step 2 brake to come to a stop right here before we get to the end of the platform. So we have arrived now at Mossley Hill Platform 1, second passenger stop of the day. Leaving Mossley Hill, our next stop is West Allerton. We are within 3/4 of a mile of West Allerton, so we're going to be getting up to a decent amount of speed to make this quick trek over. We're going to have to stop within about a minute. So we're going to have to make enough speed to be able to stop within a minute. This could be a little tougher. There's a lot less planning involved on a stop like this. You just go and then you stop. So I'm going to lower my throttle down to 0 now. We're going to go ahead and get a little closer, and then I'll do a step 2 brake application so we can enter the platform at a good pace. Thank you for the warning. So here's our step 1 brake. Is there a train here? Nope, just our stop. So step 2 brake application is applied. I think we're going to be able to come in and stop properly. Yeah, we're good. We are very good here. In fact, we're going to stop well before the end of the platform too, which is what I wanted to do. So arrival right on time at West Allerton. Absolutely perfect. Leaving West Allerton. Our next stop is Liverpool South Parkway. This was our first stop on the previous scenario. This time it is our 4th stop out of 10 if you don't count Liverpool itself, because we're not getting any point credit for it. You can see that Liverpool Lime Street, if we go back to the top, this happened in the first scenario as well. There was no points given for the stop there. We were just being given credit for all stops after that first one, because we're expected to know to pick up passengers to start our service. So we're going to be taking the 20 junction up ahead for Liverpool South Parkway. That is the route that we have access to. The other one takes you to the one that you don't get the junction for. That takes you to the West Coast main line, and that is where the missing link comes to play, because that missing link does give you the Liverpool option. Missing link has an option for Liverpool. We have a flashing yellow, which is warning us that we are going to be taking that junction I mentioned. I did not see who that train was. However, I can probably tell you that was probably the service that was leaving 1 minute ago from the station we're now stopping at. So that's exactly who that was. I'm going to put a step 2 brake application on because I'm coming in possibly a little fast. I'm going to bring it down to a step 1 now. And now we're going to continue with the step 2 application. I think we're going to be right on perfect aim with this one now. We're getting our warning for the junction signal up ahead. Now I'm coming in a little slow, so I'm using it back to a step 1. We have time to make the stop. We have a half minute. Back to a step 2 application. Back to a step 1 to make it easier for our passengers. And the train has arrived at Liverpool South Parkway, platform number 1. Expect delays, the sign said. Awesome. Leaving Liverpool South Parkway, constructed in 2006. We're on our way now to Hunt's Cross. I'm leaving our speed at 20 miles per hour, which is going to be our speed limit for the time being on this junction. I didn't move my camera in, so we'll do that very quickly. So we're now on Allerton Junction. We can now go 30, so we're going to bring our speed up a little bit more. Just give you a quick glance on the route where exactly we're located. That's where we are right now. We're going through all the yards and sidings. As I said, this is access to the East Coast Main Line right here. So over here takes you over to Ditton. That is on the East Coast Main Line. There's some sidings over there as well. So that's what we have in that area. I wanted to get back from the map very quickly because we are going to be entering an 85 mile per hour section. Not that it's going to matter. We're going to stop at Hunt's Cross anyway. So I want to point out once again, the track that we're going to be on right now is a Metro-related track. So the track we're on right now, Metro services are merging in. I mentioned this last scenario. That is number 607, I believe. Yeah, check my train list. No, 807, 158-807. That train came from Halewood, stopping there at 9:10. So it is on the way, or at least coming through there at 9:10. So yeah, we're on a Metro line right now. We literally are. And the Metrolink services, I don't know what they all are, or what the schedule is for all of them or anything like that, but there's a lot of lines. Kirkby and other stations up in that area. And some of those services do have tracks that used to, let's get our stop in. Some of those tracks have services that used to stop in, that used to go through stations as a regular service. But then those services were claimed for just Metrolink use. When those services were those tracks were just claimed for just Metrolink use, what we literally ended up with were stations where you actually have a gap in the track, where you have buffers on either side of the track. And that shows where each type of service is allowed to go. So you have high-end services like big trains like us at one end, and you have the Metro trains at the other end. And they are not allowed to cross into each other's territory. But there are access points, like there's one access point that I know of where you can actually get from one track to the other if you need to move a train onto the other track for services. Or if you send a train for service or something like that, then you're able to use that as an access point. But typically those tracks would otherwise never connect. So very interesting how they have that laid out for the Metro services. In any case, here we are at Hunt's Cross, platform number 2, arrival. Leaving Hunt's Cross, our next stop is Halewood. In the little gap there that I cut out, I went ahead and looked up the area I was just talking about. Kirkby is actually one of those stations that has a gap in the middle. Now, both lines are local lines, so they might both be metro lines coming in, but there is a gap at Kirkby. You cannot go through Kirkby Station, which is interesting. You look up Kirkby, you'll see what I mean. There used to be a track that was lifted in the middle of that. Southport is actually the access point I was thinking of. So if you have a train that you're bringing to the Metrolink network, you can bring it in at Southport, junction it across, and that's locked to that network unless it is released from it. So very, very interesting setup to get the trains to the Metro network and keep them there. Once they get into the network, with the exception of the Hunts Cross area, they otherwise can't really get out. So if a service is finishing for the day, you're not going to use that train again, park at a Hunts Cross, put it in the siding on the main line, there you go, you got your problem solved. I don't know how they do that if they have their own sidings, but there are those, there is that connection at Hunts Cross that we just passed by, and it would be neat to see some of those metro service trains making a stop at platform 3, which I believe is the platform they would use, platform 3. And possibly going off onto that Metrolink track out of our scenario eyesight during a scenario. So it'd be neat to see that. I'm not sure if anyone's ever done that before, but it would be neat. So we are coming up on Halewood right now. This is Halewood platform. I'm coming in way too fast, so I'm going to do a rare full service here. There is a train. No, there isn't. That was a person. I came in a little too fast for this one, I've now realized. But I'm still okay. Not a problem. I did not mean to release. That's a problem. So arrival at Halewood platform number 1. Little adventure on that one, but we're good. Leaving Halewood, we're now well beyond the halfway point. Our next stop is Hough Green. And I believe Widnes will be our next stop following Hough Green, if I remember correctly, because Widnes still has another stop at another station before we actually get to Warrington. That was a train going by. I should tell you who that was. That particular train, I believe, was... no, that wasn't 158. Oh, that's probably the 158712 Express, because we just went through Halewood, and that train was coming from Widnes. So that was probably his 158712 Express service. There you go. On my timetable entries, I actually have that train moving first. So it made it stop at Widnes at 9:15. Actually, I ordered them incorrectly in my list. Never mind. I ordered them wrong in my list. The other one below it was 9:10. Oopsie. Always fun to make a mistake and catch it while you're recording. Especially on the track. But thankfully that was not one of those. So we're a mile away from Hough Green. We're getting up to some good speed this time. I'm over 60 miles per hour at this point. Which is about 100 kilometers an hour, by the way. So I've gone ahead and eased back on the throttle and moved it down to an idle position. We're going to do a little bit of a braking procedure here. Not too much, because I don't want to slow down completely this far from the platform, if I don't have to. I mean, if the signal was protecting the platform because there was a train in it, yeah, we'd have to stop at the signal, and then we have no choice, but you don't have that. Our speed is coming down fairly nicely at this point. I'm not objecting to this. A little bit to a brake, step 2 brake application right now. Ease that back to a step 1. We'll get into the platform and we'll bring it back to a step 2. There we are. This should give us our stop at Hough Green very nicely. Easing it back to step 1 because I'm not quite at the building, but that's good enough for a stop. There we go. Arrival at Hough Green, platform number 2. Leaving Hough Green, our next stop is Widnes. Our speed limit is 85 miles per hour. We will not reach that. Widnes, as we drive now, is about 1 mile and 3/4 away. We're now close to 1.5 miles. 1 mile and 3/4 from where our last stop, I believe. So when the map zooms out again, we're going to see the station suddenly pop in the platform rather will pop in front of us behind the signal somewhere. And there it is, popping out, and way up there is where Widnes is. So this signal coming up protects Widnes platform. If there's a train on the platform, this signal will be red. As you hear, it's green. We are approaching 60 miles per hour once again, so we are getting some good speed in the latter half of our journey today. We have a full minute to make our stop, so it looks like a step 2 brake application will be the order of the day for this one as well, because it is going to be a little bit tight if we don't play it properly. And I actually going to need that step 2 brake right now because I'm coming in actually a lot faster than I intended to. Okay, now I'm going to bring it down to a step 1 for a moment. Another quick stint at step 2, back to step 1. Okay, we'll see how this works out now. Ease off the brakes for a moment so I can get out of the platform at the speed I wanted to. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the step 2 brake on because that should stop me right where I need to. Actually, I might need a full service application. So can I get it? Yes, I can. No emergency. And easing it back off for a nice stop for the passengers. Might have been too late on that, but we have arrived at Widnes, platform number 2. Leaving Widnes, our next stop is Sankey for Penketh. We are about 3.5 miles, a little more than 3.5 miles away from that. So we might get to the speed limit on this one, guys. We might reach the speed limit. In fact, I think on the previous scenario when I was trying to give you more information on the route and not paying full attention, I did reach the speed limit and I sped. At the time, I had not realized I was going to be able to get that train above 85, so there you go. 90 is the approved limit for the train. But our track doesn't go that fast. Only 85. Now, there are a couple more trains that are going to show up on our journey, or maybe it's just one more. What time is it? 9:27? Yeah, a couple more. We are going to see 158760 coming from Sankey for Penketh. So we will see it along this part of our journey, and then we'll see one more train as we come up to Warrington. So there's trains situated all over the tracks, and you've seen them one at a time. Pretty much almost every station has had one. We've had 9 different trains show up on this journey. Very, very nice collection of trains that we got to see going by, and we got to see a couple going by in some nice station shots as well. There's the train I just mentioned. So it is going by now. It's on its way to Widnes. We are at 65 miles an hour now, so we'll see if 85 becomes a thing for us. We still have 2 miles to go, so it is possible. 2 miles to go. You saw the green signal there, so we are clear to continue. There's the station. We're not going to get to 85. Well, it was wishful thinking. It was wishful thinking. 73, 74. I'm going to push to 75. I heard the train do something. I pushed the alert just to be safe. So I did reach 75. Might even get to 80. But I'm not going to get to 85. On the last run, I got to 85 while I was going through the station itself, and that's where I sped, and you didn't see it because I cut it out, because I couldn't believe I got myself distracted that badly. Not quite 80. Not quite. We have a full minute to make our stop. We have a half mile to go to make our stop. We have a 50 speed limit up ahead, which may not really be a huge bother to us because we're going to probably be getting to that speed at that point. I'm trying to put a step 2 brake application. Didn't want to work because we're coming in very fast at this point. Very fast. We're still entering the platform at about 27. I got a full service on there without hitting emergency. We're going to try to stay on the platform limits. We are going to succeed at that. I've eased off to a step 2 and back to a step 1. And arrival at Sankey for Penketh, platform number 2. I was a little slow to respond to that one because I was looking up the station that is not on our route here. So, leaving Sankey for Penketh, nowadays I would say our next stop is Warrington West. Unfortunately, Warrington West is not on our map, so our next stop is Warrington Central. Warrington West, you may remember me saying last scenario, opened in 2019. In fact, the area that we're coming up to right now, it's somewhere in this area right around here the station is. So we're going to be going by the area where the station is. If we look on top of the train for a moment, you can't really tell because you got some valleys around you here, but it is in this area between these buildings here. So the station is somewhere in this underground-ish type area that is in here. And I hit the Q key as an alert just in case, and I actually lagged for a moment there. But we're going to get back in the cab. We're going to get rid of that broken window view. We're within 2 miles of Warrington Central. We're going to be getting our train speed down to 50, which we're just shy of that right now. We're a little above that. The lag is trying to stop me from getting my train speed down, which is very disconcerting. There it is. 50.8. That's where I would love to be right now and stay. We are on uphill, so we're not going to stay there, but it is going to help lower us for the 40 up ahead, which is not a bad thing. And this was an easy scenario, guys. I did this in one run, so this is a very, very easy scenario. You should be able to play this one and enjoy it. If you're fairly new to the game, this is a good one to start with. Get a feel for how the train operates, then try some of the harder ones. So I'm dropping a little bit more speed off right now to get closer to the 40 and therefore not speed into it. Down to 43 now. Closing on the sign about 1/10 of a mile away, so we're going to get down to 41 and 40 right now, and that should be good. We are in good shape. Now all we have to do is get to Warrington Central and bring the train to a stop, and we are good to go. Quick peek at the map as we come by. I'll just show you the area around Warrington Central on the map. You can see the up and down track here. This is the Warrington Bank Quay, which is of course on the West Coast Main Line. And we're going over that to continue into our stop. So if you happen to have the missing link route, you're familiar with Warrington Bank Way. I think Chat Moss also has services that connect to Warrington Bank Way if you have the Chat Moss route. They've actually built down to that area on their route, I believe. So you can actually visit that station from that route as well and do services from that station. I don't know to what extent, but I'm just basing my understanding on what I've seen of the map that accompanies the route in their manual. Or on the website, at least. So, you have a chance to use Warrington Bank Way on that route. We don't really see it on this one, unfortunately. Not really possible, I don't think. In any case, arrival at Warrington Central. Let's look at the train as we finish. Okay, I don't care what anyone else says. That lined up exactly where I wanted it. That's a perfect stop for me. I'll take that one any day of the week and twice Sundays. In any case, that's 2 scenarios done. Like I said, that was a very easy scenario. And next time they're going to get a little harder. We're going to see what the next level scenarios are. 3 of those coming up, and then 1 more at the highest level that we have in this pack. And then we have the 101s, the 142s, and the 45 peaks to deal with. And we also have some scenarios for the Armstrong Powerhouse 156, I believe, that are on this route as well. It'll be interesting to check those out at some point, once I deal with the fact that I think there's an ATS train in one of them, or 2 of them. But if I can deal with that, I will be able to probably play those as well, because I think I have the rest of the stock, aside from that ATS train, the 185. In any case, we're waiting for the... There it is. Great job. You complete your final stop at Warrington Central. It was a busy shift. I drove a train. It's not that busy. And everything went well. But everything went well. And everything went... Grammar, who cares? Yeah. Busy shift. Everything went well. That's what matters. Let's get to the score. And we achieve another achievement there. That is the 700-point achievement for the Roll With It achievement. And that leaves us 4 scenarios that we can do. So the next 3 that are all of the same difficulty level are the Express to Liverpool 55-minute scenario. We have the Match Day Madness, which is a 20-minute scenario. And the Storms Gather in Merseyside scenario. Another metro area, by the way, I believe that is. And that is a 45-minute scenario. So we do have options for different times of day. The Match Day one is in the 1 o'clock hour, starting just before 1 o'clock. The Storms in Merseyside is about a 3 o'clock hour scenario, and the Express to Liverpool is a 6 o'clock hour scenario. And then when we do get to the final scenario, which I am going to definitively put at the end of the pack for our purpose, the final scenario will be a 4 o'clock hour scenario, waiting for freight. I'm tempted to follow these in the order of the time, in which case that will become 5th. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet. But at the same time, the fact that the Express from Manchester to Liverpool in 1 run would be the last scenario by that setup, I might do that. I might be tempted to do that. We'll see. I'll figure it out later what I want to do. But in the meantime, have yourself a wonderful day, evening, or night. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll show you the rest of these scenarios here as well. And I hope to see you back for them. In the meantime, 171,770 points. Yeah, I'll get those 1,000 points eventually. I don't mind having the 0 ending it as it is right now. I actually like it like that. But have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for you, your part of the world. I will see you next time for more Train Simulator Classic. I'm Cyclone, and bye-bye.